Hi, it's Chuck again from cymbalgoat.com. Experiment number 4 is with what's called Vibra-Fibing. Neil Peart, I read about this in the late 70s. Neil Peart had Vibra-Fibing done on his Slingerland kit. I couldn't afford to do it his way, which is basically fiberglass inside the shells. And what that does is it helps in the projection of the sound, and it kind of spits it out of your drums. It also helps in resonance, so it actually lengthens the length of your basic note out of your toms. So what I wound up doing is, instead of fiberglass, I used varnish. So I basically stripped all the hardware off the drum shells, sanded with some fine grit sandpaper, put a coat of varnish on all the shells, let it dry for about 24 hours, lightly sanded it again, and then I put a second coat of varnish, let it dry for another 24 hours, sanded any spots that needed to, reassembled the drums, and played the drums. And what I did notice was that the drums resonance was a lot longer, so your fundamental note lasted quite a bit. So I'm just going to show you the two differences. These are two 12-inch toms. It's 8 by 12-inch toms. They're both made. One's a univox. This one here is a univox. This one here is a no name. But from the research I've done, they were probably made out of the same factory in Japan in the early to mid 70s. So we'll call this one A, Tom A. No name, with no varnish, no treatment, just a plain shell. Okay. And this is Tom B, univox, and this is with the varnish, or my version of Vibra-Fibing. Now, the one thing we did is I did an experiment, and I repeatedly used the same amount of force on each tom. I had my son help me tape it, and there's actually a difference of almost a second and a half in resonance from one tom to the other, and the longer resonance being the one with the home style Vibra-Fibing, the varnish. So it actually does make a huge difference. What I'm going to do next is take apart the drums, show you what it looks like inside the shell, and you can tell that both shells are made out of the same material, just that one has a coating of varnish. Okay, so I've just taken off the heads on both drums. Again, the A drum, the B drum. We're going to have a close-up so you can see inside the shells, and I'll explain to you what was done. Alright, so we're going to zoom the camera in. Okay, so we're going to look at the A shell first. And here, I'll just put it under the lights here. And if you notice, it's just a bare shell, and actually when I run my hands, it's very rough, and you can actually hear the grit, right? And the bearing edges, when I'm running my fingers across them, there is a lot of grit as well. So although they are true and they are fairly even, they're not smooth. Okay, next we're going to move over to the B drum, the one that's been Vibra-Fibed. Okay, so this one here, I'm going to run my fingers, and it's nice and smooth. Hence, I sanded it before. I'm going to run my fingers across the bearing edges. Nice and smooth. There's no grit. They're just as they're true, just as even as those, but there's no uneven spots, so the head rests a lot nicer. And if you can just have a look inside, it's got a nice shine to it, but it's the same exact grain as the other one, right? The only thing is, because there's no shellac, this one doesn't stand out, this one pops out. Okay. Okay, so just to wrap it up, both drums have wrap on them. This one's a gold glitter. This one is kind of an orange metallic wrap. Both the same heads were used. Coated ambassadors on top, clear ambassadors on the bottom. Although it may not seem apparent that there's a huge difference in sound, when you actually record from the time you hit the drum until the resonance stops, you're looking at about 1.5 seconds. And we did it about 10 times, and we took the average out. I took the highest and the lowest. We turfed those, we got rid of them, just like your normal scientific method. And then we took all the other numbers. We came up with the average, and then 1.5 seconds is what you're looking at. So, and the good thing is it doesn't cost a lot of money. You're talking about some sandpaper and a bit of time, some elbow grease, and a can of varnish. So you could probably do the whole thing for under 10 bucks for a 5-piece kit. And just to let you know, this kit was the first kit that I ever bought, and my wife was nice enough to actually track it down. It took her like 2 years, and she surprised me for my birthday. So this is the original one. Still sounds great, and I love playing it. Anyways, that's all for now. That's the end of Experiment 4. If you have any comments, questions, or queries, send them to my website, cymbalgoat.com. And if you have any experiments you'd like me to try, I'm interested in hearing your feedback for that too. Okay, till next time, Chuck, cymbalgoat.com. Cheers.